Lawyer and activist Mahatma Gandhi spent his life advocating for his fellow Indians, rather than resorting to aggression against others. However, Gandhi instead practiced peaceful civil disobedience to bring about positive change in society. Gandhi was born in India in 1869. At the time, the country was under British rule. In 1888, after finishing his studies in India, Gandhi decided to attend law school in England. Upon his arrival, Gandhi found it difficult to adapt to life in London. His English needed improvement, and his vegetarianism, part of the Hindu faith he practiced, was unusual to Londoners. Though Gandhi was often embarrassed by his differences, he nonetheless held fast to his beliefs. Life in London also exposed Gandhi to progressive social and political ideas that would eventually influence his own beliefs. In 1891, Gandhi returned to India only to find that his mother had died in his absence. Further compounding his despair was the inability to find proper work in India. So in 1893, Gandhi accepted a position in South Africa. There, Gandhi, like other Indians in South Africa, faced discrimination and racism. Though the experience was unpleasant, it also spurred Gandhi on a fight back. At the end of his year-long contract, just as he was about to leave South Africa, Gandhi suddenly made the decision to stay. He wanted to help defend the rights of his fellow Indians. He spent the next 20 years in South Africa devoted to this cause, opposing discriminatory legislation lodged against Indians. In 1914, Gandhi returned to India. He wanted to assist poor farmers and workers who were being heavily taxed and discriminated against. He also wanted to help relieve poverty, improve conditions for women, and end the caste system discrimination against people considered to be of low status. Ultimately, Gandhi helped to bring self-rule to India and end British imperialism in his country. To achieve this, he administered a civil disobedience campaign from 1919 to 1922. During this time, he promoted nonviolence, non-cooperation with the British government by encouraging Indians to boycott British-run institutions. In 1922, he was arrested for sedition or encouraging revolution against the state. Gandhi was sentenced to 6 years in prison but was released in 1924 due to his poor health. Later that same year, Gandhi fasted and refused to eat for 3 weeks. He wanted to call greater attention to the practice of nonviolence in response to warring between Muslim and Hindus in India. Gandhi was jailed in 1930 when he led a march to the sea. He defied British salt laws by picking up a handful of natural salt at the seashore. Gandhi was encouraging others to do the same. Salt laws placed hefty tax on salt. They also prevented Indians from producing or selling the seasoning. Since picking up the salt was considered production, Gandhi's act was illegal. Despite his arrest, this example of civil disobedience nonetheless led to further discussions with British about Indian independence. In 1931, Gandhi travelled to London to attend a conference with the British, but He was arrested again when he returned to India. In 1932, while still in prison, Gandhi began another fast to protest the British government's discriminatory treatment of so-called untouchables. The untouchables were members of the lower class of Indian society. Throughout the mid-1930s, Gandhi focused his efforts on improving the economic conditions and the education of peasantry and those in the rural India. In 1947, Gandhi's dream of a self-ruled was finally realized. That year, Gandhi was Gandhi sorry, that year Gandhi at last achieved independence from Britain. Unfortunately, Gandhi died just 1 year later in 1948 at the hand of a fascist. Despite his tragic death, Gandhi's teachings of nonviolent civil disobedience live on. His lessons continue to guide countless others in their quest to overcome injustice in society.